Assalamualaikum and hi, I'm Shafiq Nazrin. I'm here to talk about climate change for my English research paper in USIM. 1172489, that's my metric number. Okay, let's start the video. So, climate change. What is it? Climate change is basically changes in the climate system that results in new weather patterns. It has been affected by human activities more recently since the Industrial Revolution in the 1800s, and it results in global warming. Basically, energy from the sun can't escape the Earth's atmosphere because of the greenhouse gases we emit. Those greenhouse gases trap the heat in Earth's atmosphere, preventing it from escaping to space, and that's how warming occurs. This extra energy received by our climate changes it in terms of new weather patterns, and these new weather patterns are seriously affecting our world. So here, let me explain how climate change works. Okay, this is our planet, the Earth, and this is the sun. Okay, now heat from the sun will hit our planet. The heat from the sun will hit our planet, and it should be that after the heat is taken in by the planet, it would escape to space from our atmosphere. Problem is now, with the greenhouse gases we're emitting from our factories. This is a factory. So with these gases coming from our factories, the emissions from those factories are blocking the heat that's trapped in our atmosphere from exiting back into space. So the heat is now trapped in the planet, in our atmosphere, because of these gases. Not just from the factories, it can also come from cars, vehicles of other kinds. It can come from all other sources, air conditioners, to all these gases. The burning of trees. When you burn a tree in deforestation, it will also cause some smoke that will also contribute to this barrier from the heat to escape into space. That's basically how climate change is. Here are some facts so you won't get bored. Enjoy. So a UN report states that from 1880 to 2012, the average global temperature rose by 0.85 degrees Celsius. From 1901 to 2010, the global average sea level rose by 19 centimeters due to the melted ice caused by global warming. The average sea level rise is predicted to be 30 centimeters by 2065 and 60 centimeters by 2100. Even if greenhouse gas emissions are stopped by then, most aspects of climate change will still persist. So after all that heat is trapped, the ice in the North Pole, and the South Pole will start to melt. This melting of the ice will be the loss in the North Pole. It will be the loss for the habitat of the polar bears. Don't judge my drawing. And in the South Pole, it will be the loss for the habitat of the penguins. It will also cause an increase in floods for homes in urban areas, near coastal beaches, everywhere that is near sea level right now will be underwater soon enough. Also, because of the warming of the oceans, the temperature, let me just draw a thermometer here, don't care if it's ugly. The temperature will also rise This rise in temperature and the acidification of the oceans because of the increase in carbon dioxide due to the burning of the forests and such will make the oceans more acidic, and it will also cause bleaching for the coral in the oceans. 90% of coral is expected to die out within the next decade. Yay, more facts! On Halloween this year, earthday.org published an article online basically to scare people on Halloween. 5 facts about the world that is being affected by climate change. So the first fact, the UN's IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, reported that the global carbon pollution must be cut by 50% before 2030 to avoid catastrophic and irreversible damage to our planet. Because after that, if we are not finished doing it by 2030, it's too late. Second, the World Meteorological Organization, the WMO, stated that 20 of the hottest years on record occurred in the last 22 years. The third fact is that more than 1 million species are at risk of extinction right now. The 6th mass extinction experts called it. By 2050, about 40% of all species on the earth will disappear. The fourth fact is that a lot of humans, a lot of people may not survive it. Rising temperatures, bad air quality, loss of crops, spreading of increasing amount of diseases, loss of freshwater deposits, increased natural disasters because of the weather changes by climate change. All of them affect human life. And the fifth and the last fact is that world leaders aren't taking it seriously. The US, for example, is the second biggest emitter of greenhouse gases just behind China, and it pulled out of the Paris Agreement. Because the US pulled out of the Paris Agreement, instead of reducing 25% of their emissions by 2025, it's not going to happen. China, on the other hand, continues building their coal-fired power stations instead of building alternative wind farming stations, solar panels. You just say it. Renewable energy. Even the UK, the leading fighter for climate change, is using targets for cutting emissions. So if you're thinking right now with the problem of climate change on what to do, here's what you can do. You can try to reduce them. With emissions, you can try to maybe carpool your car with other people. Instead of just one person riding a car, maybe you could go to work with your friends, or just, I don't know, take the bus. Yeah, just take the bus. Take public transportation, trains, and things like that. You can also save your energy. You can save your energy by switching off the lights. This is a light bulb, so turn it off. Switching off the lights when you're not using them. Switching off the air conditioner, because the energy is emitting from coal power stations that may use coal and other things that produce GHGs, greenhouse gases. Also, you need R's for life. R's are reuse, reduce, and recycle. Use these R's. There are also all the other R's, but these are the 3 main R's. Reuse, reduce, recycle. You should know them. Eat low carbon. Eat low carbon means eating less meat and more veggies, because meat produces a lot of methane gas that also uses a lot of the animals also produce carbon dioxide. On the other hand, vegetables produce oxygen instead of carbon dioxide and helps the environment. Trees, save them, stop burning them in forests, stop cutting them down in deforestation for logging. Save them as much as possible, even plant them if you can, because they are our producer of oxygen, and they also eat up carbon dioxide. And demand government change. Action is more appropriate word, I guess. Make sure that the governments act, make laws, protocols, and reinforce them to make sure that all the other nations, all the companies under those nations act effectively against climate change. And that was the conclusion of the video. Hope you enjoy it. I did what I could, and have a good day.